The beast is here. It breathes, it moves, but it lurks and waits until everything is glued to the ground. This is Sicario. Sicario is a 2015 crime thriller directed by Denis Villeneuve, and it has Roger Deakins as its cinematographer. The film follows the story of an idealistic FBI agent who is enlisted by a government task force to aid in the escalating war against drugs at the border area between the US and Mexico. In this video essay, I will be analyzing a scene close to the end of the movie in which Alejandro, played by Benicio del Toro, forces a police officer to pull over a jefe and hijacks his vehicle afterwards. Sicario developed its image during the pre-production stage by drawing inspiration from the work of Alex Webb, an American photographer. Webb's colorful portrayal of grim-toned places and people is what gives both his photographs and the look of Sicario their distinctiveness. Cinematographer Roger Deakins mentions how he visualized frames and scenes using Webb's photography, which he says helped the film be more real and gritty in a colorful way, composing stark contrast between the US and Mexican border, for example, with the US side being mostly grayscale, while the Mexican side offers vibrant homes, albeit with gruesome backstories. These visuals fit perfectly into Roger Deakins' philosophy when it comes to cinematography, as one can infer from his quote, "People confuse pretty with good cinematography." As the task force advances through a tunnel on the trail of a drug cartel, Kate Mesa, played by Emily Blunt, witnesses Alejandro illegally kidnapping a corrupt police officer, and he drives away to settle his personal score with the cartel's boss. This sequence captures the feeling and overall concept of the film perfectly, as it is the beginning of its climax, and pays off most of its build-up elements up to that point. Alejandro forces the corrupt cop Silvio into pulling the jefe over, and the camera gets stuck on Silvio, portraying his paralysis through a tight frame. The film rarely uses close-ups of this extremity, and frames where the background is void of detail. The subject is lit using a single key light, motivated by the lights of the police vehicle. We clearly see that the entirety of this character's being is under pressure. This is also reinforced by the muzzle of a pistol lurking in the left corner of the frame. I found it quite interesting to see that the gun is placed on the left third of the frame, as if it is pushing Silvio out of his ideal position, again adding more to the uneasiness. The depth of field is also quite shallow, which helps our subject pop. This shot is one side of the beast that is Sicario. We see the distress, we see the liar being forced to lie, and the utter desperation. While Sicario mostly employs wide shots to convey the brutal truth, this extreme wide contrasts its preceding shot by shrouding our main characters with darkness, creating ambiguity and tension, but this time by hiding emotions and the impending doom. The framing causes all of the actors and set pieces to become dwarfed and surrounded by the darkness, another metaphor for the beast starting to reveal itself. The camera is static, which gives room for the viewer to look around for clues in the frame to determine what is about to happen. Unfortunately, there isn't much to be seen, as we can barely see Silvio coming out of the car, while the frustrated jefe awaits his ambiguous fate. Roger Deakins loves his wides. In Sicario, every wide shot is a turning point. Here, this wide is the last stop before the action unfolds. The distance between the two subjects is almost creating an arena where the action must occur. But with the darkness obstructing many parts of the frame, it is hard both for the jefe and the audience to determine what's going to go down. Using mostly practical light, the shot is grounded in reality. Multiple hotspots on the actors' faces create a hard light feeling, even though they lack eye or nose shadows. As Silvio starts moving towards the jefe, the camera moves, for the first time, tightening the two characters. We also fully see both of our characters' bodies. Using Silvio's walk as motivation, the framing continues the uneasy, being watched feeling as Alejandro stays in the shadows behind a police car. Silvio is being backlit by his police lights, and there's a tiny field that illuminates his clothes and face, again contributing to Roger Deakins' natural lit feeling. The same rim light that illuminates Silvio is used to light the jefe. This symbolizes the current state of these two characters. The jefe is evenly lit. He is exposed and vulnerable. Silvio, on the other hand, is shrouded in darkness. His uniform, which symbolizes power and authority, is contrasted by this choice in lighting. An interesting lensing and lighting detail is a red bokeh to Silvio's screen right. This is in fact Alejandro, using the flashing red lights as disguise. By scaling Alejandro in the frame in such a way so that he becomes the same size of a police light is a very, very clever move, as it hides the character in plain sight, hiding him from both the Jefe and the audience. This shot proves how Roger Deakins and Denis Villeneuve masterfully crafted each shot. Mids and close-ups hide, while wides reveal. We are able to read our character's emotions, but there's always something in the corner of the frame hiding in the shallow depth of field. And it always manages to catch us by surprise, every time. This flows really well with Deakins' mindset, as he states that cinematography and the director's vision should always go visibly together, crafting a finer film and story in the process. He also strongly believes that no shot should draw attention to itself and flow together after one another smoothly. Even though there are definitely some shots that draw attention to themselves, this is because they display outstanding cinematography skills, and not because they are distracting in any way. We can get a better understanding of Roger Deakins' standpoint regarding the transparency of cinematography by looking at a quote of his. "I don't really believe in the mystery of cinematography. What happens in the camera is what the cinematographers create and all that nonsense. I want the director to see what I'm trying to do." End quote. Sicario is definitely a modern masterpiece, and it deserves its place in history thanks to its subtle but effective use of cinematic techniques. By staying transparent to the director, the cinematography of Sicario transcends the running time of the film and stays with the audience with its colors, lights, and images. Thank you very much. This is Image Etanolo, signing out.